There are so many memories each of us have with Mrs. Devenney, individually and overall as a year group. But she wasn't just a member of the staff, she wasn't just a classroom assistant, she was our friend. Together as a year group, we have put together some of our most cherished memories and what Mrs. Devenney truly meant to us.
I knew her as Devenners.
Are we Trish?
Tricia.
Big T.
She was Mrs. Devenney.
She was the one that, if I had a problem, I'd go to her. If I had an outside issue, my own life, I'd go to her. She'd be the comforter, she'd be my rock, really. And she wouldn't be afraid to hit you in the head if you were being an idiot, like, you know. But, you know, Miss Devenney was such an influential member to the year 13 year group, and even to me personally as well.
She was always the brightest smile of the whole school, really. She wasn't just a classroom assistant, she was a friend, a school mummy, like everyone's seen her more than just that. She really did bring us through like the years, whatever 6 years, and she really did just touch the hearts of people, not only just classroom assistants, other classroom assistants or teachers, but also pupils, you know. She really looked out for us and she treated us just like adults, really, like friends, and really did just, we appreciate her so much.
Well, she meant a lot to everyone, as you could probably have heard already, but she was one of a kind, so she was. She was just always smiling, always walking into the room with a smile on her face, and she'd always walk past you and you'd be, oh, what do you have on today? Were sprays? She would always, daily update on what you smelt of.
Like every Wednesday, first 2 periods, double study in the green room there. Just always a weekly catch up. And whether it was just a weekly catch up or a daily conversation in the corridor, just the happiness she brought kind of just lifted you when you needed it. Even if you didn't need a lift, she always did just lift you, and that was just the kind of person she was, and I thank her for that.
Miss Devenney was a very loud person, which it says a lot because it's coming from me, but no, I felt like me and Miss Devenney were very similar in some aspects, because she always was there to make people laugh and always said what was on her mind and was always there for people whenever they needed her. So I feel like she was just the perfect classroom assistant for me. But no, she was just always there and she was really appreciated. And without her, probably I wouldn't be here, because we had her like first year, I had her the whole way up. And then like first year, second year, and third year, I just didn't care, like literally getting E's and everything, and one day she just sat me down and didn't like go through me, but she just told me basically to wise up, and I guess I just took it from her, and here I am today.
Miss Devenney to me was what I would call probably the mum of our year, and this is because you could have a laugh with her. She was always up for a laugh no matter what the situation was, but when she had to be serious, she had to be serious, and she was always there when you needed to talk. I always remember one time when in RE I was struggling and I wasn't getting through it as well as what I thought I was going to, and she came in and she talked me through it and all, and she helped me out, so she did. So she definitely helped me out a lot with my schoolwork and stuff, but at the same time you could have a laugh with her. And me and Miss Devenney always had this, I suppose you could call it a rivalry going on, where we always used to take the mickey out of each other and have a laugh about things, and that's something that you can't really get with most people.
She was the life and soul of the party always. She was relatively experienced and she helped me along my journey at Wellington, and my fondest memory of her would be the time she got a wee bit too hot-headed and I retaliated and said to her, "You don't own me."
One classroom in RE, she would have been in the debates and along with us and with Miss McKeown, and she always just showed her view, but she had her back a few times as well if Miss McKeown didn't agree with us, but she really was amazing.
One time, this was like 5th year English, I used to sit beside her, and the night before I like tinted my eyebrows, because every girl does that, and I came in the next morning not really paying attention, and she just looked at me and was like, "Hannah, what's wrong?" And I was like, "What?" And she showed me like this little mariner thing, and all my eyebrows completely red round here, like basically burnt off, I'm not even joking. So this was in the middle of English. I was quite stressed out because like my eyebrows aren't really dark, so then I was like, oh, I need to get them sus. So while we were like reading or doing some poems in the middle of English, she just started getting out all this makeup from her bag and like helping me cover it up. So Mr. Young was like trying to teach something, she was like powdering my eyebrows up. But no, she was really, really good, and she was one of a kind.
Her life was based around helping people, you know, it wasn't just, oh my gosh, this can't do this, can't do that. She was a raker. She did not care what she did. You know, we were all her babies, she's the girls. Our babies, our darlings, our wee farts, you know.
My fondest memory of Miss Devenney was probably before the formal. We had quite a rough patch between us all and there was disagreements. And Miss Devenney worked it all out for us. She brought us in the room and taught us how to live with it. You're not going to get along with everyone and live with it all. And on the night of the formal, I remember getting down there and arriving, and she was sitting there smiling, waiting on us, and she was saying how proud she was of us and how we were wee daughters, you know, because she was like a second mummy to us. And she just taught us how to live in the moment, and she loved me so much.
Well, Miss Devenney was more than a mate than anything. Classroom assistant she was, but when you have a bit of laugh with her, or just being serious, shouting at you, or when you're talking, just throwing a pencil case at you for not talking, she was always there for everyone. She was a trusty member of staff and someone you could always go to.
Well, Miss Devenny first came in 5 years ago into the college. It was not a smooth start with me. I felt that Miss Devenny was stepping on my toes a little bit, asserting somewhat more authority than I did, which was not good. But of course, in typical Tricia fashion, she tackled me head on. What was my problem? We soon hashed it out, and actually after that she was amazing. Great help with the kids. At all classes, not just with the tutor group that she was assigned to, but up and down the school. She was a mummy, first and foremost, for everybody. I think kids in the school, kids at home, and also for staff. I think sometimes she thought she was my mother. This year alone, when we come back to school in September after the summer holidays, her first words to me, when are you going to get some colour and when are you going to sort that hair out? So swiftly did get rid of it. Not too sure about the colour. Tricia was very fond of her colour, and that's probably what most people will remember about her, is her fashion, her clothing, and how bright she was.
Yeah.
Her very infectious laugh.
Yeah.
There was no mistaking when Tricia was in that corridor by her laugh, and you couldn't help but smile along with it. She will be missed for that, for everything. She will be missed for her support. She'll be missed for her kind words. With everything, with what we were doing in the classroom, whether it was right, and also what we were doing at home. She was fully involved in this school, and we're all very, very fond of her, and she will be very much missed.
Tricia was in my year 10 class, in our class, Corey, in my first year in the school, and she just helped me settle into the school so much, because coming in as a new teacher is always quite scary, and from the first day she was just the most welcoming, lovely, bubbly person. I've never met anybody as glamorous all the time. She just always looked brilliant, as you say, so colourful, both in how she dressed but just her personality as well. You know, she was just the most lovely, friendly, welcoming person, and I think every student that she worked with just adored her. Everybody in our class, I know, just adored her. And when you say about her being a mummy, I couldn't agree more with that. Whenever I first got pregnant with my son, she just started to tell me about how being a mummy was the best thing in the world, and it was clear that she just adored her children more than anything. And not only was she a mummy to her children, but she was a mummy to so many within the school. Alex especially, she just adored so much, and such a mother figure, I think, to us all.
Mrs. Devenny was with my form class when they were in year 8, and I think it's a great testament to her how many of that class, even though she'd changed in year 9, came along to celebrate her life on Saturday. She was a great presence in the classroom, great with the pupils and also with the staff, so she was a great presence in the staff room as well.
She always had a smile. She was always there for everyone in the class, and she always helped out in any way she could. I do remember on one occasion being told off for my attire when I go to church. I happened to let it slip one day that I was very comfortable going to church in jeans, to which I got a complete and utter dressing down from Tricia, who told me under no circumstances should I be going to church in my jeans. But all I ever have of her are fond memories.
I've known Miss Devenney as long as I've been at this school, 4 years, so she's been here a lot longer than I have. I can tell you she's been the life and soul of the staff room. She's been having everybody in stitches, and she does that on a regular occurrence. One of the things that I worked with Tricia on was actually putting together some of the charity events. So we would have done staff coffee mornings and things like that in aid of cancer research, and she had an absolute passion for doing that. She was definitely a colourful character, somebody who made everybody laugh, and somebody who definitely touched everybody, and we could see that even in a classroom. You know, if she was with one particular child, which obviously she was assigned to, she quite literally had the whole captive audience of the people around her, and she would have made sure that they knew about that. She was a star, and she'll be greatly missed.
The first thing that comes to mind is that she was just a laugh, and whenever you seen her about the school, she just cheered the place up. So if you came in and you were having a bad day and you walked into the staff room and Tricia was there, it would just suddenly become a better day. And her laugh just sort of boomed around the school and always was just a lovely sound to hear. But she was more than a colleague, she was a really good friend, and she was more than just a good laugh, and she was more than just good fun. She was incredibly caring. She looked out for the kids, but she looked out for us too.
My first memory of Trish was coming into Year 8 French with the current Year 13s, and she sat in the back row to the top left, and she sat beside Marcus Smith, and literally we just joked about the Year 8s trying to get the French words out.
Including the teacher.
Including the teacher, but was quite good, and Trish did say I was doing a good job, and we just joked really, and we had a common bond from there. We loved to laugh, and over the years it developed, and we became just not colleagues but very good friends, and both inside and outside school she was there for me quite a lot, and she helped me through a number of very difficult times, and she was just a shoulder to lean on, and her heart was as deep as the ocean. We had really fun conversations and upbeat conversations. We just laughed and joked about everything, and we were helping each other out through difficult moments. And yeah, it was just really good. Everything was just fun, and it's surreal sitting here paying tribute to her, but she was just she wasn't just a classroom assistant for pupils, she was a classroom assistant for all the pupils and for colleagues. She was not just a classroom assistant, she was a friend, and that developed since she joined when you were Year 8. And yeah, it's surreal sitting here paying tribute to her, but she was one of a kind, and we will miss her, but she's provided so many fond memories, and as we progress through life we will look back on those fond memories and raise a smile and remember.
Can I say this a wee bit? I found this when I looked up her name, the meaning of Tricia's name, and I think this sums her up very, very well. She will do nothing less than her best, is a practical joker, enjoys the good things in life, enjoys the things that life has to offer, respects others' feelings, a trustworthy and obedient lady. Her intriguing smile melts many hearts.
Superstar.